Hi. So are you laminating your flashcards at school? Stop it. Jesus. Okay, I am at war with lamination. I will not laminate my flashcards. I will not use laminated flashcards, and I will not work with teachers who use laminated flashcards. That's not true. Of course I will. But this is a subject about which I feel quite strongly. I feel that there's no reason to use lamination or laminated flashcards, and this video presents 8 reasons why you should not laminate your flashcards or even use laminated flashcards in your classes. So let's get into it. Reason number 1, not to bury the lead. This is the biggest reason, the most important reason. Laminated flashcards are glossy, and depending on the angles from which they're viewed, they can be hard for the students to see. Next time you have laminated flashcards up on the blackboard, if the opportunity presents itself, walk around the perimeter of the classroom and look at those cards, okay, from different angles, okay, depending on where the students are sitting. And I guarantee you that, again, given, different times of day and the angles involved and the sunlight coming in and like that, you will always find some area of the class from which the students just can't see the cards as well as they would be able to if those cards were not laminated, okay? Glossy flashcards are bad flashcards. End of story. There's a second reason too, not as critical as the first perhaps, but laminated flashcards are slippery. Makes them harder to handle when you have them in your hands. I've dropped laminated flashcards on multiple occasions, I'm embarrassed to say, maybe I'm just a klutz. And also when you put them up on the blackboard with magnets, I have found that if you want to, and I've given you this advice in other videos, but if you want to put the cards up at kind of an angle, not straight, but just sort of askew just a little bit, they don't want to stay that way. When they're laminated flashcards, they're slippery enough that when you put them up at an angle like this with one magnet, they want to just kind of come back down like this. It's a small item, I'll grant you, it's a small issue, but nonetheless, it's worth mentioning here. Reason number 3 is a pretty big reason in itself. Some laminated flashcards, depending on how much sort of plastic, margin you have around the edges, they may not fit in some folders. I worked before with folders that were just exactly A4 size, and if you have A4 paper, it keeps them perfectly aligned, or A4 size cards, but you laminate those cards and they don't go into some folders. It's a small reason, maybe an edge case, but another reason, small reason admittedly, not to use laminated flashcards. Reason number 5, very simple, it's expensive. Yeah, lamination, the lamination envelopes that you can probably get at your school, they cost, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 yen a piece. I don't know what they are. I haven't priced them, but there's a non-zero cost. I heard a horror story some years ago, actually, of a new ALT at a school who got a hair up his ass, or her, I don't know, and goes in and laminates all the flashcards and runs through the school's whole supply of flashcards. The school gets angry. They contact the company, the dispatch company, and then that ALT ended up having to pay or reimburse the school for all those flashcards, for all those lamination folders that they used. So yeah, there's a non-zero cost associated, and it's just, again, another reason not to laminate your flashcards. Reason number 6, bad for the environment. Laminated flashcards cannot be recycled. So, if you're an earthy, crunchy kind of guy and you want to think about, protect the environment, unlaminated, regular, straight paper flashcards, cardboard flashcards are just better for the environment. Reason number 7, lamination takes a lot of time. You can spend an afternoon laminating a whole set of flashcards. It takes, I don't know, I don't do it, so I don't know, but when I see other teachers doing it, it seems to take about, 15, 20 seconds per sheet of paper or per flashcard. And it's just time better spent doing other things. And reason number 8 is that lamination is just simply unnecessary. I've used unlaminated flashcards literally for years and years, and I've never had a problem. I've never had an unlaminated flashcard, a straight paper flashcard, and said, gee, I wish this were laminated. It doesn't happen that way. It should be noted here that some teachers, I think, mistakenly associate laminating their flashcards with being a good teacher, and look at me, I'm laminating my flashcards, like a dutiful teacher. No, you're wasting time and money and resources and all of this. And I'll grant you that after several years, maybe those flashcards get a little bit beat up. I mean, even if that's the case, by that point, you're going to want to print out new ones anyway. Nobody uses the same flashcards for like 5 years before realizing that, darn it, the font should be bigger down here, or this picture isn't the best one. I want to use a different picture. So you'll be revising your flashcards anyway every couple of years, probably, right? There's just no use in laminating the flashcards. Now, I suppose, in order to be fair, I will have to admit that there are edge case scenarios where you might want to laminate if those flashcards are not flashcards at all, but they are to be sort of pinned to a bulletin board outside where they might get wet, might get rained on or something. Oh, they're exposed to the elements. Okay, laminating is the better choice there. And I suppose I should grant here that if you're not going to laminate your flashcards, then you do need to use a thicker gauge of paper than you otherwise would. Laminated flashcards can be printed out just using straight vanilla sheet paper. Here you're going to need a thicker gauge, kind of construction-y kind of paper. If you're from the States, construction paper. But that's fine. Schools are happy to give you that. It's often in a different location. It's often in the office or something. You have to go in and ask for it. But again, they're happy to give it to you. So that's it. 8 reasons not to laminate your flashcards. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks again. Bye-bye.